Welcome back to a fresh episode of Missin Curfew, Road Edition, Updogg, fella.
How we doing, big fella?
It sucks, man. Although,
yeah, it's
your
not the same, not in the
looks.
studio.
No, I hate it, man. I gotta be honest, I hate it.
I know. How's back home for you, bud? I mean, I'm in New York celebrating Christina's birthday. Shout out to my girl. It's her. We won't give away her age, but she still is. She still is younger than me, so I'll give her that. Yeah, we're in a little New York state of mind. We've been here 4 days with the kids. Took them to the Rockettes yesterday. I'm going to take them ice skating today. Just do the little holiday thing before we take off back home tomorrow. So,
hey, I just wished her happy birthday, so don't tell her that you told me, okay?
She always loves getting a good text from you, Ob. So that'll be. Yeah, I appreciate that. She's getting her hair done right now. I'm like, just go take the afternoon off. I got the podcast. Me and Obi will be shooting the shit. Kids are sleeping. Lily's here taking care of things. So, I mean, this is a full Updogg day here in NYC, my man.
It was nice. I actually saw Christina at the boat parade, and then I saw her at a restaurant. So I got to see her a little bit before we took off for the holiday season. I always have a good time hanging out with her. She's funny.
She's a good girl. She's, she loves New York City, right? Like before when we met, this was home for 15 years. So it's nice she's back. I've had a couple dinners with a couple of her girlfriends. They get a little tipsy, I tell you. These girls know how to party around here. So
any of them single? Are they all married? Are they all married with kids?
No, there's a couple single ones. Yeah. No, there's a couple single ones. You might want to poke your head in here.
They like Husky X defenseman or what? They like Husky X defenseman or what?
I'm sure they do.
Is that a bong behind you, or what the fuck is that? What is that behind your left shoulder?
Oh, this thing right here? Jeez.
That glass thing.
If it is, it's a big one. Yeah, that is, I don't know. Binger, get over here and test this thing out. What do you think?
Binger.
That thing looks like it could be pretty good for a gravity bong.
Yeah, it's either that or a big glass dilly. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, hey, by the way, one last thing on New York before we get humming here. I saw a sick picture of your daughter Izzy in one of the sickest leather jackets I've ever seen. So tell her it's never a bad play to rock a leather. You know that, Ups.
She knows that. But we had our Christmas photos yesterday, and a shout out to my buddy Cody, who's Danny Clinch's right-hand man. So this guy's a great photographer. He came by, took us around West Village yesterday, me, Izzy, Beckham, and Christina. We did a little rock star photos. We had the black leathers on. We rocked around West Village. We took some cool pictures. He had this badass old school camera that's probably from the 30s or 40s that Danny Clinch gave him. He took a couple pictures with that. So those will be out and rocking and rolling probably in your inbox for the holidays here. But I had a little Christmas card for you.
Send it to the Bay Club, man. I'll put her up there when I get back on the 28th. nice little welcome home gift.
I will do.
Let's talk a little World Cup, fella. The boys joke about it. Actually, we're gonna talk about it here about Maxi and Binger fade me. I got one right. Shout out to I believe his name is Jose at the men's clubhouse at Big Canyon. Bobby Orr's boy. I was talking to him about the World Cup. I'm like, fella, give me heading into the team of 16. Give me somebody. Who do you think? I think Argentina, maybe because of Messi. He's like, yeah. Anyways, thank God they won Updogg. Got me out of a little bit of a hole that I put myself in. But what do you think about that final game, man? My flight was delayed back home, Uppy, thank God, because that was one of the sickest sporting events I've ever seen.
Well said, Obi. It's been the topic of conversation amongst, the whole world, right, the last couple of days. But Sunday morning, I was first up, crack of dawn here in NYC. I was the first guy at Due West for the game. I mean, I was the first guy. I think I beat the manager over there. I had already a Bloody Mary. On me before the TVs turned on in me. And, buddy, the whole game was great. I mean, was I on the wrong side of maybe my bets? Like I took Mbappe to win the MVP. I had France kind of leading up to the tournament, so I faded France, but I'm pumped for you. I'm pumped for Messi. What I seen, the people coming together for Argentina in Argentina. I mean, the country I think has been through a lot, and this was, their first World Cup since I believe '86, since Maradona hosted it, and the outpouring of love and pride for those people is amazing. And Messi has just turned out to be one of the best athletes of all time, if not the best athlete ever to play for one's country, right? Like he's poured his heart and soul into Argentina football and soccer, and it's finally his world championship to enjoy.
Yeah, I've seen some lists after Messi got it done. First of all, how about that backhand sauce little pass on I believe it was the second goal, the breakaway, not the breakaway, but the breakout goal where he went left foot backhand sauce. I was like, wow, that is insane. But there's been some lists up since he's won it where it's Messi, Tiger, Messi, MJ, Tiger, Wayne. Like that's like that. He's the best athlete of all time, man. And you see the reaction in Argentina of the people. Like the Raptors parade here in Toronto was nasty, but those people in Argentina, like Messi couldn't get in his house. He couldn't get in his house, man. It was insane. I'm like, this guy can't even get in his house. So I imagine being down there right now and just getting in one.
Crazy. So I just have to tell the story. I was out for a drink last night before dinner, Obes, and I met this guy. His name's Scott Goodwin. Shout out. He's a huge. Well, first he was a BC guy, but he's a huge Ranger fan and got glass seats. Him and his wife were at the game, and they sat, no word of a lie, 10 rows up from where the penalty kicks were, right at the 10-yard box. And I watched the videos. He has the video of Messi scoring what was the go-ahead goal in extra time. And then I saw the penalty kick to win. It was basically right in front of me. He said his experience over in Qatar was just insanity. The emotion that was in the barn, the fans, just like the whole experience for him was crazy. It was the first person I'd actually got to chat with that was over at the game, and wow, like seeing the fireworks after and stuff like that. These guys went all out for this event, so it's really cool to see that. It was nuts.
I'm hooked, man. And how about when I went to penalty? So first of all, I don't know how much you watched Argentina, but that was their blueprint. They get up early. I got Lupo texting me. He's like, "This is over." I'm like, "Loops, Argentina's been giving up 2-goal leads. Like, you make double bogeys on fucking Shady Canyon. It happens a lot." Like, And then Updogg, that obviously the penalty kick by Mbappe, but his second goal, man, where he jumped up and kicked it sideways, I was like, that is nationally beyond National League. But once it got to overtime, I'm like, the save the Argentina goal he made in overtime, he looked like Kenny Dryden where he made the old fucking kick save, or Billy Rampard. Because Argentina's goalie is so sick at penalty kicks. How sick was he? Like, he was anticipating it. Yeah. And then his celly, you gotta love his celly after where he like took the thing on his, and he was like dry humping the stage up there or whatever. I'm like, this guy's gonna have a night.
He looks like the world champ boxer. What's his name? The big boy. The big white heavyweight champ.
Tyson Fury?
He looks like Tyson Fury when he was doing hey, like the guy was just a maniac. But just like how good for sport, right? Like I fired out this tweet after because I was just so taken over of just an event that I hope touched like kids and people, men, women, young boys, young girls everywhere. Just the fact that when you play for your country and there's so much on the line and the stage is so big, that these moments are just so huge and they'll be remembered forever. It was something that everyone will talk about this game for the rest of their lives if they witnessed it. And I hope, I hope that makes like young kids and gives them a sense of hope that they could one day, become a Lionel Messi or a Mbappe and play for their own country and just share that stage with the world. It's nuts. So I'm pumped. I mean, I think FIFA did a great job, and the country Qatar and that whole setup they had was insane. But what a spectacle, man! What a spectacle,
dude! I'll tell you what else I thought, Updogg. If I'm NHL, let's get a fucking World Cup going here, boys. What are we waiting for? Like we talk about how high end the talent is in the NHL, and it is. Right? I watched Austin Matthews and the Leafs put a fucking beat down on our poor boy John Cooper last night. Like Matthews it was ridiculous how well he played. Like back check and taking the puck away. Like hockey's growing up, dog. Like we need a World Cup, man. We need Connor McDavid has yet to represent his country against the greatest players in the world. Like what are we waiting for, Updogg? Like let's get her going. Like I just can't believe we're still not having a World Cup next year. Like.
Yeah, I know. I think we talked about this. It has to do with the whole Russia thing, and unfortunately, that's just a part of our world we can't really control right now. But you're right. It needs to happen. It needs to happen. These stages need to be set, and people need to be young kids. Not only want to watch the Edmonton Oilers, but they want to see Connor McDavid and face off against a Leon Draisaitl in a German Canada semifinal. Like it'd be something that gives kids another form of, competition that they could see, that makes them want to be hockey players, that makes the parents want to spend, more time around the kids in the game. And so you're right. It needs to happen.
I want to give up, before we move on to the World Cup, shout out to Team Canada that represented, them in the World Cup. First time, I think, since Updogg, 86 or something crazy like that.
Long time.
Without them getting in, maybe I probably still would have gotten into the tournament, but having them in the tournament, and the first game against Belgium where they came out and they had a penalty kick and they missed it. I don't know. Right then I was hooked. So I just wanted to give some love to the Canadian team and how much soccer's grown up here. And I guess just keep it going, because I'm hooked to soccer, and it'll be even better. Imagine, I don't know if we're ever going to get to where we can hoist the thing, but I would love it if we started competing a little bit. We can run. I know that up there. Our guys could run. We're fast.
Well, I'm just throwing this out there. I mean, the next World Cup is in Canada, Mexico, and the U.S., and it's only in 4 years, 3 years, basically. So, yeah. Fella tour somewhere just to see this thing go down.
Fella tour Mexico.
Hey, where are you guys going? Oh. Cabo. No, you got to watch soccer. We're like, oh yeah, we're just going to go take it in. But then, I mean, hopefully, we're going to still see Mbappe. We're going to hopefully still see a chance to see Messi if he's still rocking and rolling. But this was all time, and you're right. A lot of people got hooked after this tournament.
Yeah, so congratulations to those boys. I wish I could be, in that party with whatever they're doing down there. I don't know if the wives are there. I don't know how the Argentina's doing up top, but congrats to those boys. So we talk a lot of golf here. Actually, our guest next week is going to be a golfer. So they announced that the Masters is going to allow the Live Tour guys to play if their credentials meet. Dustin Johnson's won a Masters. If your world ranking competes and you're ex-champion, you get in. And I think, listen, we don't need to get into Live Tour and PGA because we talked about it enough, but you got to have the best players in the Masters, Updogg. You've been there. You've walked, around there come Masters time. You know how much I love sitting on my couch watching it. You got to have the best players competing for that green jacket. I think this was a great, great play by the Masters committee.
Yeah, no, well said. I think this is it's a statement for golf, for world golf. I think it allows, politics aside, it allows the best golfers to come and compete for what they would consider the best and ultimate prize in golf, which is the green jacket, which is a chance to celebrate on the 18th green at Augusta National with the history of the game. And I think it's a win just for, moving forward in golf. And if there is going to be two big, players in the game, we have the history of the game, obviously, with the PGA, but, this new form, they're not going away, and we want to see the guys compete, and we want to see them put aside, whatever. If there's a Rory going against a DJ, or we want to see them put that all aside for competing for the green jacket, because no matter what happens, if the Live guys weren't able to go and Rory won a green jacket, there's always that asterisk there. It'll always be talked about.
Good point.
That's put aside. And the guys can put their differences aside and go out and compete. And, at the end of the day, I think this is the tournament that has really put golf on its stage, whether it's Arnold Palmer or, Jack Nicklaus or Tiger Woods. The Masters, other than those three people, are what put golf on its map. So I'm pumped. I think everyone the letter made no sense to me today, by the way. I read it and then I was like, I don't know what this means. Are they allowed to play? Are they not allowed to play?
It was basically the Masters just being like, listen, we don't want to piss off the PGA Tour, but boys, by the end of the day, these fucking guys are playing. So here's some proper vocabulary. You're a better writer than me. I can't believe you didn't understand it, because I was like, well, they're playing, so that's all I care about. But It's a great point by you. If Rory would have won his first one, and there's no DJ, there's no Cameron Smith, there's no fucking Nerd Biscuit DeChambeau, there's no Brooks Koepka, there's an asterisk. And for me, it's just like, you need the best players playing. It's going to be unbelievable, and I can't wait. To think the Masters are just around the corner too, Updogg. I was like, I'm freezing my balls up here in Canada. I was like, the Masters are right around the corner, so good on them. Congrats to you. You won your fantasy football. That boy, keep her going. Ooh. Keep her going.
I'm in the semis, baby. But you know what I just did? I just fucked up. I actually just got rid of. I'm trying to make a couple moves to, button up my lineup this week, and I dropped my kicker, Bass from Buffalo, somehow, and now I can't pick him back up. So
What?
I don't know what I did. Yeah, it's kind of dumb. Now I got to put in some fucking idiot kicker. Like, who does this in the semis?
No, but you can pick up another kicker.
I can get a kicker, yeah, but he's going to be a shitty kicker.
Let's see who we got here.
Why is he on waivers until? Is he on waivers until
he's on
Sunday
waivers,
or something?
Max, and he's on waivers until Sunday. I don't know what I did.
He's
but
right there. You can still get him.
No, but he's yellow. He's hidden up yellow, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's
so
yellow.
That means he's. But
you could pick up Waiku from Atlanta if you want to.
Come on, Waiku.
Hey, this kicker's good. I don't know. Prater for Arizona. They're playing in Tampa though. Will they get lots of field goal opportunities? I don't know. But he's a good kicker. He's a veteran. Prater.
I like the Missin Curfews jumping on this Updogg thing. I might have to share some of this, the winnings with you guys if I end up pulling this through here.
I need Buffalo to win the AFC. I need Buffalo to win the AFC to cover my fucking loss in fantasy. Come on, Alan. My advice to you would be, I don't know, Maxie and Binger jump in here, but maybe pick Prater up right now until – what should you do, Max?
Yeah, that's not a bad play.
You like that?
Get Prater just to have him as safety, and if you decide to go with somebody else that's available before Saturday or Sunday, you can get him. There's a lot of games Saturday this week too, so just set
your alarm. Set your alarm.
Heads, yeah. One Thursday too, right? Or is it just Saturdays this week? No,
Thursday night is Jacksonville Jets.
There's 5 games on Saturday and then another 10 on Sunday.
Okay. Well, listen, boys.
Pick up the old veteran Prater.
I'm in the thick of it here. And I got fucking Flowers this week, so it's on.
Go get him, buddy. I'm wishing the best. Represent the company.
This one's personal, huh?
You like Prater? Prater.
Prater's
Arizona
a veteran,
kicker, Prater. He's
a veteran.
Look at that smile on him.
He used to play in Denver. Right. I met him a couple of times. Didn't mind a cold one.
Shout out to DraftKings Sportsbook here in New York City again. I mean, I'm on that app during the World Cup final, and I'm hitting like next goal scorers. I'm here with the football right after. I'm hammering bets. You know, I re-up the account. You kind of have to when you get to NYC. You get a little horny, and you get out there, and you're like, oh God, here we go. But just being able to bet and throwing in these SGPs and live bets, and finally been. By the way, I missed my same game parlay by Boston smoked the Bruins. Smoked the guys, right? And Marchand had three apples, no goals. Otherwise, we had another, Missin Curfew same game parlay. Would have been awesome.
I'm telling you, I'd love to see them throw an anytime point in there. I know it makes it a lot easier, but I would just love to see it. And I know what you're saying. I was excited to get to Ontario, only province in Canada. Good old Ontario that's legal. Forgot to ask, DraftKings if I needed a Canadian account, which I do. So I got locked out of my American one. I tried to enter 3 times. I'm like, bank account locked. So now I have to set up one. I'll have to set up one in Canada. But I took the Leafs last night and hit that one. So, but the app is so much better, Uppy. Like all the player props and everything. Like these states, and we live in one doesn't make it legal. It's so much more fun when you can get on an actual DraftKings app like that and pick the player props. And there's so many more options. You don't have to bet as much either because you can just tickle everything a little bit. Makes the odds way better. It's a no-brainer to me. I don't know why states don't just make it all legal.
Yeah. Oh, and I'll tell you what else is great is you don't have to get your bet in by kickoff, right? If you want to take the Niners over the Chargers and the game starts and you were going to bet you say you're going to take the Niners, right? And they get down an early field goal or touchdown, then your odds go up for them to come back and win. So you're there was no rush to getting it in at the game because their live bets are awesome. So for anyone out there who hasn't dived into these apps, just jump on the DraftKings app. And enjoy it. It's fun.
And don't forget the promo code Curfew Kings, if you're gonna jump on there. Give the boys a little love. Updogg, I love the intros, buddy. We will be right back. Welcome back to Missin Curfew. Top titty Updogg. I reached out to you. You're my brother. I reached out to you. Did you put your fucking top titty team in? Then I checked the standings. Not only did you put it in, you're 15th Updogg, 112 points.
I told you I was coming for you. After last week, I had a little bitter taste in my mouth that that the app kind of let me down. I thought I got it in. Maybe it was my service, but I was not letting this one go. And I had, going over my lineup, Jack Hughes, kid is just doing some thumping lately. He got me 23 points. Letang, I took this guy, what he's been through the last little bit, coming back. Dude, 21 points for Letang. Tice, right? Tristan Jarry, my Tendy, 21 points. And then I threw Miles Wood in there. He got me a little bit. Stevenson, 11.5. Vegas with a 4-1 win over Chicago. So, I had a mixed bag of peas here that ended up really coming through for me. 15th place, man. Come on.
Frozen bag of peas, Updogg? Little Steve, frozen bag of peas. Yeah, buddy, good job. Binger, 25th. I was 27th. Princey and Maxie for the Hall Pass crew. But shout out to our winner, Clocky. Holy, look at this. 114089. Nice handle, fella. Tighten it up a little bit. But he had Brandon Hagel, Kucherov, Jari like you, which ballsy pick because he hasn't been exactly, although he's played better of late the last month, and then McJesus. So 90 entries. It's fun, Updogg. I'll tell you what, with all those games, I think we say it every week, but I'm going to say it again. It's hard to stay in the cap. And I sacrificed, I'll be honest with you, I sacrificed my blue line. I load up front. Like my centers and wingers are fucking, all the top guys for 8,000, 8,500. Then on my back end, I go down to like $3,000. I might have to mix up my strategy a little bit, maybe get one puck moving D-man, but I don't know.
Hey, you're just a guy that is the meat and potatoes guy on the back end, aren't you?
Boys.
I have Letang and he has Hedman, right? And they're both like around the 20-point mark. You kind of need to slide in a guy that's going to maybe block some shots and get some points. So you might want a guy that's going to do a little bit of both,
Yeah. I got to get my DraftKings app figured out for tomorrow night's Top Titty because it's not working again in Canada. I guess I got to download a whole different thing. Canada, Updogg. I'm up in Canada, but I'm in one. I'm up here.
She's cold. She's a little cold. She's a little twisted, yeah.
It's crazy. So, hey, I want to tell you, I went to shout out to the Cobra Cougars. I took my little nephew Smith to his first hockey game. Updogg, I said this podcast and talked to you about physical play, and it's going to get worse before it gets better, buddy. They're all wearing cages. They all skate.
What, junior hockey?
Junior hockey, they're all wearing cages. Every single one of them. They all can skate like the Updogg, but I counted, 5 body checks in 2 periods or something, and there wasn't even a scrum or like. So I don't know, Ups. I don't know.
Didn't feel like junior hockey, did it?
Not with the cages on.
It didn't feel. Yeah, I know. And how was like the size? Like the bigger guys, smaller guys? Is there some strength to it, or is it just some fast, speedy, like smaller kids?
Good question. I had a lot of speed, and there was a couple big guys that were like a little bit clumsier. But I'm like, if I'm coaching, I told my dad, shout out to Pitter, I'm like, if I'm coaching that kid right now, I'm taking him out after practice every day and working on his skating, and just working on his skating and telling him to finish his hits, and you will get a job. You will be the next Tom Wilson kid because there's only one of him left. It's a dying breed. Yeah. We're gonna get to dying breeds here in a little bit. Your boy, what he's doing in Minnesota right now. We're gonna get there. But shout out to our first place winner, 90 entries. I'd like to get that up a little bit more. Get in there with the boys. Take on the Updogg. He seemed to got a recipe for success. So get in there. Yeah. Take on the Updogg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games again on Thursday night. Stay under the cap. So. Continue with our friends at DraftKings. All right, you two fuckers, jump in here if you want to. Friday night lock of the night. The Updogg took the Wild to beat the Hawks. He's 3-1. I took the Flames over Updogg's Blues, and they lost. Did you boys fade me?
We faded you on that one. We took the Blues.
Fuck me.
With a little pressure from me, too. I said, are you guys not fading this, or what are you going? He's going against the Blues here. You got to fade this. By the way, the Flames are stinking. The Flames with the win last night, but they've been stinking the joint up. So it was tough to really,
no consistency in the Flames game. Updogg. I watched him play one night. You know what? Shout out to that Dylan Dubé. That guy we said last week. He's still, he played great the other night. Kadri, but consistency to me. Lucha's got a couple goals for him, so they're getting some depth scoring. But one night I watched them, they look good. Next night they look like shit. And Ups, like for good teams, you got to find a way to. If you don't have your A game, you still got to find a way to win.
Yeah, they came out to play last night. I think they scored 2 goals in the first 20 seconds of the game, and then kind of smoothed themselves to what was a big needed win. But you're right, and the things aren't. Look at Calgary. Look at the weather right now. It's getting a little chilly up there. It's not easier to win games when the winter comes. The holiday season is a little chilly.
Updogg, it is minus 30 in Vancouver right now, and the same in Calgary and Edmonton. Minus 30, but there's a snowstorm there that is. I almost I didn't want to rub it into Weegsy. Weegsy, baby, if you're listening, I was going to text you, be like, "Are you missing Florida?" But I held back, because you got what has he got? 80 bananas or 50? What do you get? 80, 50? What do you get up?
No, he's up there. He's in mid-50s, I think. But he's there. He's got an 8-year ticket there, and it's you got to start your vehicle before you get out there in the morning because she's not going to start. You're not going to get in there with a warm cup of Timmy's and some mitts on, unless that puppy's she started for 30 minutes before you get in there.
You need the automatic opener, or you need to live in a building where you park her inside. But I mean,
that's right.
I've been there. And I didn't have a nice 8-year ticket like Weegsy. I was on a 2-year, on my second year of a 3-year that ended up getting bought out. But those days, those dog days you talk about, they are a real thing in Calgary, Alberta. They're a real thing.
Yeah, I know.
So right now, if you've been riding me, I'm losing you money in the lock of the night because I'm 3-2. The Updogg's making a little bit of cash. I'm going to go first because Uppy's kicking my ass. I'm going to take the Carolina Hurricanes at home against the guy we're going to talk to a little bit, John Tortorella's Philadelphia Flyers. Hurricanes at Flyers, lock of the night, DraftKings.
I don't mind no picks, Obes. Buddy, 3-1. My Wild beating the Hawks. The Wild are hot right now. The Wild are hot right now. Listen, I can
never chirp you because you took Arizona over Boston, so I can't chirp you. That was the ballsiest pick ever. But
it sure was. Well, let's throw out another one here. Let's get the Vancouver Canucks beating the Edmonton Oilers. How's that?
Are you fucking what's in that glass bong you up behind your fucking?
I got my morning jacket water bottle, but I'm taking the Canucks over the Oilers. You heard it right here. Friday night. It's a little chilly. The boys.
I want to know what what do you think the line? What do you think the line that's going to be? Canucks plus. The Canucks will be plus like 240, and then Edmonton will be minus 310, something like that. Well, you can't say the Updogg doesn't give his balls a tug. I got Hurricanes at the Flyers, which will be like Hurricanes will be like minus 300. But listen, if you're scared of the money line, I even like that puck line. I'm not going to guarantee it, but I don't mind Hurricanes puck line. Help your odds out. Another little tip, if you want to tickle that, is you take Hurricanes. Minus half a goal in the first period. It'll bring your odds way down. But I like Hurricanes at Flyers and my boy, the Updogg, giving his balls a tug. The Vancouver Canucks, who their defense is like Swiss cheese against Connor McDavid, who's going to be buzzing. So,
hey, listen, they got a lot to prove. A lot of guys are on the block right now, and it's all talked about. That's all the boys up in Canada. I mean, you're probably watching the sports up there. It's all they're talking about is the Vancouver Canucks.
The broadcasts, they suck. Like, I mean, I'm watching the intermissions, and I don't need to get into who they are, but come on here. Let's spice it up a bit here. Let's get some, I don't know, Updogg. It's since I've been home, I haven't really been watching a whole lot of the, the intermission stuff and the pre and post. And to me, and maybe it's just me, but, I don't know. I think there's room for growth in that game. And it's not just because me and you're in the business. People are going, oh, that's because, do you think you do a better job? I'm not saying it's me. I'm saying there's some people out there that could make it better, right? These people have been doing it a long time. They've had a great run. When to me, it's stale, Uppy.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you're there watching it, and it's all day on TV. So it's like, where do they find fresh voice or a new way of coming across to new fans? Speaking to more people, having a different view of what's going on, bringing youth into like the old. Yeah, you're right. Some of these guys have been around forever. And, I mean, the people, maybe we just got to send out a Twitter, maybe a Twitter survey, see what the people think.
It's a great point by you, like, when you say it's on all day back home. And listen, people are going to watch hockey no matter if me and you do the intermission, if they get Paul Bizinet to do the intermission, the biggest guy in the game, if they get Dougie Gilbert to do the ice intermission or Wayne Gretzky, people are always going to watch it in Canada. But at the same time, you just continue to show the highlights over and over on the two networks up here, Sportsnet and TSN, over and over for 3 days. I've been like, create some shows, have a cool show that comes on that is revolved around gambling or lifestyle or whatever. Like, I just don't think there's still room to improve hockey in Canada just because people are going to watch it. That's what I've thought since I've been back here, Updogg. And maybe it's because we're in the game, but it's something I thought about.
I think you're right, but there will be a big move, Obi, to the streaming platforms are taken away from traditional cable television, and that will guys like us, guys who provide an independent show. It's kind of where things are going. So who knows what happens to that standard in studio, boring, sit at a desk and talk type show. People want creative ideas, creative content, stuff that's a little different, a little rugged, a little raw. And we hope that it adds an avenue for people like us to come in and be able to do our thing in a different way. And hopefully a non-traditional way that people can relate to. And that's, ultimately we probably have more listeners a show that want to tune in to hear us speak about things than being stuck watching Sportsnet or TSN for 6-7 hours on end. Who knows?
Yeah, and it's a great point by you where, I'm watching TSN last night and they go through one guy to the next guy to the next guy. And I'm like, well, here comes the same old. Like, if you're going to go on there, like, don't just say what, the Toronto Maple Leafs fans want to hear. Like, just tell us I just feel like I watch these shows and they're scared to say anything. And they're like, it's just like, you might as well have three guys that they say the same thing. So to me, it was just like, but I guess, like you said, the streaming service and stuff like that. So, Updogg, I want to talk about the grade 8. We talked about it a little bit last week. First thing I had to say, again, people are probably going to be like, oh, Obes. But he gets 800 goals. They dump beer on him. His response was, they're like, what'd you think about that, Obe? He's like, I love beer, so I loved it. So I thought that was great on them. He's stuck at 800 right now, Ups. He hasn't got 801 yet. So, it's sure it's coming any day now, but I thought he was so hot when he got to 800 that he would keep it going. But and just one thing on Gordie Howe. Gordie Howe, I was watching TNT the other night. Gordie Howe only had one Gordie Howe hat trick. Rick Tocchet, how many do you think Tocchet's had?
Gordie Howe had, he's the guy, Rick Tocchet. It's got to be in the mid-teens, maybe 20s, or what is it? He's a legend. What was it?
Yeah, he had like 17 or 18 Gordie Howe hat tricks.
Is that the record?
I think. That's the record. Tocchet has got it. So you might want to change it to the Rick Tocchet hat trick. I know Gordie Howe hat trick sounds good, so you're never going to change it. But Tocchet is the true Gordie Howe hat trick. So I wanted to bring that up. I'm like, that's amazing. 17 of them or 18 of them?
I wonder, as he was going through those, I wonder if it was more like he got the fight first and then he's like out there going, I got to get the goal. Or if it was a little opposite, if he's like, you know what, I got my goal in Apple now. I'm just going to, who wants it? I'm shedding these mitts right now. Who wants it? That's a great thing. I mean, that you do that once a year for 17 years. It's pretty crazy. I mean, that's not something how many times did your teammates come on the bus after you and you go, buddy, Gordie Howe Hattie, good for you. That's not very often it happens.
They're hard to get. I had one. I mean, Tocchet was a good player too, but my first NHL goal, I also had a Gordie Howe hat trick. And Updogg, I got my assist in the first, scored my first goal in the second. And then Brad Norton's like, you want to go, kid? And I'm like, I got to go. Like, I got to get here's my chance to get my Gordie Howe. But I had one. I mean, to have 17 of them, that means you could put the puck in the net, means you could pass, and you weren't fucking scared to chuck them. I mean, Rick Tocchet was all those things. So I just wanted to bring that up. He's been a great fan of the pod, and he's an absolute beauty. So Ovi, keep her going. It's going to be unbelievable to watch down the stretch, Updogg. Moving into Milk Carton. I'm going to put the Nashville Predators on the Milk Carton I've been waiting all year for them to take the next step and get it going. They beat Edmonton the other night in overtime for a big win, but enough's enough, Nashville. I love the city. Shout out to Walks, is an absolute beauty. We're both alumni. I picked them to make the playoffs. Nashville Predators, you are on my Milk Carton.
I'm going to switch gears here. I'm going to put, all the people last night that complained about the referee pushing Bunting into the box in this Leafs game. I watched it live. I thought, you know what, Bunting, what are you doing? If you're not going to chuck him, if you just want to just get off the ice, plays over. And if you're kind of like questioning with the referee as he's like trying to his job is to kind of make sure There's no complete melee. Well, he knows you're not shedding your mitts. And if you were going to shed your mitts, you already would have. So just kindly get off the ice so he can go back and sort out the scrum. I actually kind of liked it. I like when I always engage with my linesmen too. And there was a respect factor there. Like if a guy, if he pushed me, it was probably for good reason. And I think that was just, there was a time and a place to get kind of shoved around by the linesman, and that was it. But I love the feedback. I love the feedback from the fans and stuff last night. I'm watching this on Twitter and everyone's kind of complaining about it. I'm like, what's he going to do? Like, you just get off the ice. I thought it was great. I thought it's good for the game. Referee just kind of roughing up one of the guys. I loved it.
It was, first of all, that's the best milk carton of the season right there. Good job. That's by far the best milk carton, because I'm watching the game last night and I go to my pitter. I go, Pitter, if I could get one shift tonight in this game, I would go out and I would cross-check Michael Bunting as hard as I could in the third rib. And I get a penalty. They probably score on the power play. My night would be over. But that's what I would do. There's something about that kid that just, I don't know, like you said, Uppy, I don't think I get it, fighting's out of the game. But I don't know, that just look on his face, it drives me crazy. And Sergachev, did you see the slash that Sergachev gave him? It was an unbelievable two-hander right on the wrist. It was unreal. Good. He gave him one of these ups, wham, right in the wrist. Bunting went crazy. They bundied Martyr in the corner. I was loving it. I'm like, here we go. This is great. Bunting's playing well, but he's one of those guys that I look at as the ex-player in me. He was like, oh, would I like to make life hard on Mike Bunting? Ken Danico would have said, oh, he would have got beat up in our era. Uppy, Mike Bunting, he wouldn't have played in our era, I don't think, buddy. He would have been just bullied out of the league. Like, I don't think he could have had it in him. He wouldn't have been able to play like that.
No, I mean, and there's a lot on him. He's going to be a kind of a wild card for the Leafs if he's good enough to play those top minutes down the stretch when things get tough. Is he going to be able to play those tough minutes for a team like that? Is he going to be able to provide like what a Kadri can come crunch time when he's playing top minutes with their best players? Like, that's
great comparison.
That'll be a big reason. That's a big reason why they will or will not be able to get out of the first round again. Is a guy like that. So he had a great goal in the first period. He is playing with some of the best players. Not everyone in the world can say that that's the opportunity they're given. He's had he's putting 2 years of good hockey together, but he is a guy that, come push to shove, will he be playing face first against the Boston Bruins in the first round when things get really tough, or against Tampa Bay when push comes to shove and they're playing the champs like that? Like, so time will tell, but I would have played hard against a guy like that too. Would have been my,
you would have fought him for sure.
My coach would have told me, like, this is your guy. Go get him. You get him off this game.
And it's a great comparison. I love Nazem Kadri. I would say Michael Bunting's a poor man's Kadri, right? Like, he's not as skilled. He's not making 7 bananas. And Bunting does play hard. Like, I'm watching him last night. He's got a cut on his face. I like that. But it's just the way he goes about it. Like, he's got that kind of, you know what I'm talking about. When you look at him, you're like, I just like to take my glove and bury it in his face. So, best milk carton of the year, Updogg. Great job, buddy.
Thank you.
I got the Nashville Predators. Get her going so we can come watch you guys play in the playoffs. Updogg's putting Mike Bunting getting bitch slapped by the linesman on there. It's unbelievable, Updogg. This guy fucks. This guy's been unbelievable since he's got traded to the Minnesota Wild. Ryan Reeves. What he did, obviously, we know about the hit. Unbelievably clean. Comes out in a Santa hat with a Santa beard the other night. This guy is saying, hey, it's my league. It's my fucking league. And if you have a problem with it, you know where to find me. So, Revo, keep fucking, bud.
I know. We talked about this on NHL, on our little segment with Jackie. Like, who's the tough guy to still beat, and who's walking around that swagger that, come get me. You said it just great right there, fella. It's like Ryan Reeves. This is Ryan Reeves' league. He has a couple teams now in the last 4 or 5 years. He's been effective everywhere he goes. He's got new life for the Minnesota Wild, and they're playing unbelievable right now. Their team is vibing and flowing. They're getting Hartman back. They're getting healthy, so heads up for them. Tough hockey, still winning hockey in my book, man. It's nice to have a guy like Ryan Reeves fucking playing the way he is.
Totally. I'm on board with the Minnesota Wild. Dean Emerson, I love the face behind the net. Hartman's coming back. I'm on board with Minnesota, Updogg. A couple other things that fuck about the Wild. The reverse retro pants with the stars down the side. The old school Minnesota North Stars looks absolutely unbelievable. We're music guys. We talk about goal songs all the time. Minnesota Wild got the goal song from Wedding Crashers. A little bit louder now. Yeah. Nice, Maxie. That's a fucking great Ashley play. Hey,
I love that.
Ashley
I
goal
love
song.
going to weddings just for that song. Yeah, I like weddings just for that song. That song alone.
You take that when you hear that song, you go from the fourth button down till right the fucking tarp's open. Hey,
Rip it off. The tie goes around your head. You just start slinging the Jager bombs and heads up. How are you?
I remember when I first saw Wedding Crashers packed theater in that seat. I think I was with you and Luke. So I'm like, fuck, I just want to go to a wedding now. That was sick.
That's so I'm on Maxie. I see that up. The boys are on their game back at Hall Pass Media right now. They're on their game.
Maxie, that was nationally. Updogg's got the best milk carton of the year. Maxie, that's the best drop-in of the year. Bigger, where you at? What do you got, Bigger? What do you got up your sleeve over there? You got something up your sleeve or what?
I don't got a lot up my sleeve. A couple
doobies, yeah.
Maxie, that was great. So Updogg, Revo, keep it going. I'm on board with the Minnesota Wild. I wanted to say one thing about getting hit. The young kid in Montreal, Slafvosky, he keeps skating around this fucking head down Updogg. He's getting murdered. Gothenburg almost fucking took him out. Just crushed him. Get your head up, kid.
Oh, it was funny listening to Wi-Fi talk about him too. I think it was in our on our boys podcast there that we had on.
Nyland.
Yeah, Nasty Knuckles got him, clipping and saying, this guy, he's just, I'm gonna have to stick up for him everywhere he goes. But at some point, he's got to buy me dinner or something for all the times he's gonna get smoked. I think you just have those big guys that never ever got hit, and these young kids coming up like. Who would have hit this guy in his career so far, right? And now
he's never been hit. He's been playing the Finnish league. He's never been hit, probably not touched.
So, I mean, clean hockey is playing hard hockey, and this is, you label guys like that who unfortunately play with their head down. It's trolley track city. It's coming across the middle. I think his fault is coming in, and I've seen it numerous times around the net, right? He's not aware of guys coming down on him. It's a good thing he's not playing in the Rafi Torres era, because he might not have many games left. You get hit. It takes one really good hit, and it doesn't need to be dirty, but if Rafi Torres caught you behind the net, you're done.
If Rafi Torres was on the ice with Slafvosky, his career would be over. He'd be back in Czechoslovakia tomorrow. It would be over.
So much for that first pick, Montreal. Yeah,
I bumped into a former teammate of mine. I don't need to say his name. We're talking about the thing that happened with the Vancouver Canucks. And let me clarify this. I never said they did it. Uppy, you probably said it best. I was saying that they were cocky enough that year to have some swagger about them. That Boston might have saw something in morning skate, but I never thought they went around and actually practiced handing out the Stanley Cup, because they're upset. I guess the Sedins, who I respect more than anything, a few of my other ex-teammates are really upset about it. So I just wanted to clarify to the boys, I never thought you guys would do that. I just said you guys had a cockiness and a swagger about you that I witnessed in Nashville, that maybe they saw something in morning skate that motivated them. Anyways, this ex-teammate, when it all came out, I guess Rafi Torres texted and said, "Hey, boys, it was me. I told them." I tipped off the beast. Tico, he's like, "Say, boys, I got something to tell you. I told the Boston Bruins that we were practicing lifting the Stanley Cup."
That is all time. Good for,
I love
good
Rafi.
for Tico.
I love Rafi Torres, man. We got to get him on. Just a short teammate of mine for a little bit, but I love Tico. But you talk about head up. In that second round playoffs against Nashville, the end of the second period, I'm going back for a puck, and I checked my shoulder up, dog, because it was Tico on the ice, and he tore, and I just moved, and I cross-checked him like, what the – if you didn't have your head up with him, we all know it was nighty-night. So,
yeah.
Slafvosky, get the head up, kid. We want you around a long time. He's been just getting – Gothenburg just drilled him the other night. I was dying. I got to talk to Uppy about this. I want to give some love real quick. Obviously, a holiday season here, Updogg. Austin Matthews did a cool thing last night. Ugly Sweaters with Ryan Reynolds, with sick kids that are in Toronto. I guess Austin Matthews, since his time in Toronto, has been making visits regularly to the Sick Kid Hospital in Toronto. He wore the sweater. He had the sick skates. So for one of the best players on the planet, I mean, that stuff, Uppy, you know, as ex-players, we go to the hospital during Christmas time. It's not fun, but to see the smile on the kids' faces for a superstar to do that, buddy, that's what makes hockey players special.
Yeah, it's definitely the time of year where it really hits home, and kids are everything, you know, I do now is for my kids, and for you know, for kids out there that are sick around the holidays or are sick, you know, period, and dealing with stuff. It's really hard. And Matthews, I mean, those skates were awesome. I don't know what he's doing with them after, but he wore those skates last night. They looked super badass. You know, he's got great intention and a big heart. And it is this time of year where no matter who you are, you always think about the ones that, you know, could use a little extra love around the holidays. And that's awesome that they did that.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of something sick around the holidays, how about his goal last night when that Sedin defenseman just dragged the forward over and let Matthews come up and take 2 strides, and he just snapped his short side titty? Like, I mean, what can you do? That shot was amazing. He's
the best in the game. I think him and Tage Thompson right now are shooting the puck better than we've ever seen. Like a Stamkos or a Ovechkin. This Tage Thompson shot. I mean, if you go lefty righty, wouldn't that be something awesome to see in like an all-star game? Is just Matthews from one side and Tage Thompson from the other, just hammering one-timers. Just like it's a beautiful spectacle. I think it's one of the coolest things that our game of hockey has is a one-time shot and the art of it. And those two guys are making an absolute art of it.
Updogg's got DraftKings. You're sponsoring the skills competition. By the way, we will be there. Updogg's got a new skills comp, the one-timer challenge. What goalie do you want to put in there, though? Just call up an American League goalie and be like, hey, buddy, you're coming to the All-Star game, but Thompson, Matthews are ripping one-timers at your head, but get in there and see what he can say. No, but what if they like, Updogg, what if they had like a water bottle on top of the net and then something over, like you could make a sick one-timer challenge. You're onto something there.
No, I think they put like celebrity goalies in that and just shoot to hurt. So put someone in there, put a Will Ferrell in there and just dress him up in like army Kevlar, and like just make it as hard as like when we want to shoot on Binger. We're just gonna let it eat. We're gonna
Didn't they do something similar for the trick shot contest last year?
Yeah, but that trick shot, I thought that was kind of gimmicky. Yeah, rip it.
I mean, these guys are ripping what like Hall of Fame one-timer clappers, 105 mile an hour plus. Just put in some goofball in the net. Let them eat
that
it.
Tage Thompson's one-timer is clicking out of the 107. I think it's coming. Just look out. I wouldn't want to get in front of that one, man. So, Updogg, great idea. See, that's what we're doing out here at Missin Curfew. We're trying to advance the game. Trying to advance the creators. That a boy, well said. The rumor mill. Obviously, our boy Broadway Jimmy Scoop saves. We miss you every day, buddy. The rumor mill. This one's hitting close to home for both of us. First of all, it involves our boy Ryan, the Fact Daddy O'Reilly, and the Toronto Maple Leafs. There's been some rumors. Pierre LeBrun, credible source, said the Leafs have been talking about getting Fact Daddy. But I will say this. I don't know how they're going to fit him under the cap. That's above my pay grade. We don't want to get into that. Every time these rumors swirl about the Blues, I don't know if they hear it uppy or what, but they start playing well. You know, I think they lost last night to Seattle, but before that, they had won 3 or 4 straight. Thomas Grace was kicking. I don't know if the Blues are done, but if you could see Ryan O'Reilly in Toronto, that would make me cheer for the Leafs. I would be all in.
No, you're right. And I hate to even comment on this because I don't even know where to go. Would my heart love to see Ryan O'Reilly do whatever he wants and have a chance to go help the Toronto Maple Leafs get to a place they've never been in 20 plus years? It would be amazing. I don't care who you are. If you're a Canadian and you like the game of hockey, seeing the Toronto Maple Leafs make it, you know, a Stanley Cup run would be something special. And for Ryan O'Reilly to come help them do that, push him over the edge and give him that leadership that, you know, can be shared amongst the Tavares in the rooms and the Matthews, and it would be awesome. So does he want to do that? I don't know. Would it be a great place to go play for the last 3 months if St. Louis Blues aren't going to re-sign you? I think you really got to consider it, Obi. And Doug Armstrong's he's no dummy. He's made moves before in the past when we started to have a little slide and he didn't re-sign Shaddy and sent Shaddy to Washington on a loan, right? And came in the room and said, guys, you guys are the ones that made me do this. You weren't playing good enough. And quite frankly, I'm in a position I got to make moves now. So that's going to be a position they get in should they not turn this train around. But you're right. I think before, when the talks were, is Berube the guy? Is he gonna? Are they gonna make a coaching change? Boom, they go rip off 7-8 in a row. Now their rumblings are now it's players, right? And boom, they go and they have a great road trip and snap some games off. And I still love their team. Do they need some help? But Binner's a guy that needs to play with confidence, and then their team starts to roll. Vladdy is a guy that might get moved too, right? Like Tarasenko's a guy that might get moved. You look up and down their lineup, there's guys there that are tradable and are pieces that can help the Blues move forward if rebuilding's kind of in their near-term plans. So,
yeah, I think with Vladdy, and this is just my opinion, you know Army way better than me, obviously. I think Vladdy's gone to the deadline either way. Like, even if they're like in a playoff spot or just out, I think either way Vladdy's going to go, because I don't know. I don't know if deep down Army thinks they could win a Stanley Cup. He maybe thinks they can get in, but you got to get some assets for Vladimir Tarasenko, because he's not going to resign. Now with Ryan O'Reilly, I get it. The fact that what does he have? 3 or 4 kids now? 3, I believe. Moving away from your kids. I don't understand that. You understand that more than me, but I will say this: for a good Ontario boy, if you could come in here for 3 months and you could win a Stanley Cup, you see the parade that's going on in Argentina right now. That's what it would be like in Toronto. And you would be a legend till the day you die. We just had Dougie Gilmer on our podcast a month ago. He's a legend. Ryan O'Reilly would then be an all-time Leafs legend for the rest of his life. If he moves back to Ontario when he retires, when his kids grow up, you're Ryan O'Reilly. Your dad's Ryan O'Reilly. I saw him win a Stanley Cup. You would be an icon for the rest of your life. And as one of his former teammates and a guy that I have more respect for him than anyone in the world, maybe when it comes to hockey, I think he deserves that opportunity to go get one for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, I know there's a lot that goes into it. And then if he wants to go back to St. Louis and sign there for a little less than what he's making, then go ahead. But I don't know. So, we're sitting here without Stanley Cup rings. I know Factor already has one, but to win one for the Leafs, you would be a legend.
Yeah, legend. And what a better place. It's not like you're going to Winnipeg or you're going to, Calgary. Yeah. You're going to Toronto.
Nice weather in the springtime.
Yeah, like you're now part of an opportunity. And these guys they're itching to get out of there, right? The fans are itching for these guys to get out of the first round. Adding Ryan O'Reilly, a guy that can play anywhere in your lineup and shut down, that East is tough. Come playoff time, that East
is crazy.
There's guys that have the Atlantic. There's guys in the Atlantic that have been there and know how to win and are part of teams right now that know how to win. And you need guys around you and your young guys that give you the confidence to play better, to play out of your comfort zone. That's been the Leafs' problem, is getting out of their comfort zone come playoff time. And Ryan O'Reilly would be a guy in that room that would just allow all of their guys a chance to just play way, way better and elevate their game, knowing that O'Reilly's on their squad. Yeah.
Listen to this, Matthews, Tavares, O'Reilly. Down the pipe, or you move O'Reilly up on the wing and you're playing with Demers, right? Not because they've been juggling their top 6 a little bit. And I want to give some love to Kyle Dubas. I've been ripping him this whole entire time we've had Missin Curfew. He finally made a trade that I can get behind. Traded Mulligan to the Avalanche for Drayden Hunt. This kid plays hard, Updogg. He forechecks, he hits. He wasn't in the lineup last night. I don't know why, but when he gets in there, Leafs fans, you will like this guy. He brings some sandpaper. And more importantly, come April and May, he'll be important to him. But to me, I know one thing, Ups. If Factor does get traded there, fellow tour, I will have a Ryan O'Reilly T-shirt, Maple Leafs T-shirt on in the fucking Scotiabank Center. So it would be unbelievable. I'll be the drunkest guy at the game with you. It would be awesome.
Yeah. The Loophole O'Reilly hopefully be hung in the rafters one day in Toronto. That would be just epic.
Loops was a great Leaf. Don't even get me. Loops was a great Leaf. He should be going to more games, but it is what it is. So rumor mill, back up the Brinks truck, Updogg. This kid Trevor Moore, speaking of Leafs, he's with the Leafs. He got traded to LA. 5 years, 21 bananas. We've been on this podcast a lot about ripping kids getting paid. He deserves every fucking penny of it. He plays the right way, plays the way you did a lot, Updogg. 4 checks, can score, can hit, goes to the net. Good on Rob Blake for rewarding this kid. These are the contracts I like to see back up the Brinks truck.
Yeah, local kid too, right? You look at this now. Yeah. You got California, you got Robertsons, and you got this kid coming out of there. This kid, like you said, he deserves it. The LA Kings are making the right strides with their younger players and building this core group of guys around around what was before a championship squad. So a great signing. I think we talked about him. We spoke about him last week with someone in one of our podcasts that really was like, yeah, this Trevor Moore is a good player and someone that, deserves a chance to continue to, get good looks and you win with guys like that. Right. So I forget who we were talking to. Oh, we talked about the depth that
Steeler.
It was with Steely. It was exactly who it was with, who's going to be aired next week on our next week's edition of the Monday interview edition.
He plays hard. Like I said, he has a lot of similarities to your game up front, and good on him. Back up the Brinks truck, 21 bananas. How far does that go in Manhattan Beach? Probably not as far as he'd like, but that's still have a nice place.
I think he's going to be all right. I think he's going to.
He might not be on the Strand, but he'll be able to see the ocean for sure.
He's going to be able to keep the lights on. Yeah, you can pump that air conditioning as much as he wants. Yeah, that's for sure.
And last but not least, here. A guy that we love came on the podcast. It's a great story, actually. And then Kenny Holland's a great GM. And I'm going to pump my tires here a little bit. I was watching, somehow came across that Jason Demers was in Bakersfield last week. He's been down there for all year. And I thought, why have they not signed this guy, especially with the troubles they've had on the back end? They signed him to a two-way contract. I'm not sure if they've called him up or not, Updogg, but I love what Kenny's Holland doing here. He's a right-handed D-man. He wears 55, which I love. But he plays the right way. He can make the first pass. There's no reason not to give Jason Demers an opportunity with the inconsistency of the Oilers right now.
I agree. And I think I love watching guys like this go through, they would call it the PTO. He came off an injury and back surgery. To me, the Oilers probably wanted to see if he could kind of keep up, is his body ready to withstand the season? He goes to Bakersfield. He becomes shows he's a pro, helps their young kids, now has a chance to come up in the lineup. And for me, you saw, is it Janmark? Janmark did the same thing, right? For Edmonton, went to the minors. And these guys, you got to keep older guys around. You got to keep the character guys around, because at some point, things are going to get really tough. And when things are tough, you have to be able to lean on guys that have been there or who at least have the vote of confidence from the coaches that can help push these younger players and say, guys, in these 82-game seasons, things are going to get rocky. And you got to rely on just making the right decisions, being good pros, showing up, enjoying the ups and downs of a season. And older guys get that. So for me, Jason Demers is a perfect guy. Well thought out, well called, Obes. We love seeing our boys back in the lineup, Missin Curfew alumni. So I wish him the best, and hopefully he can help Edmonton. I think he can.
I think he will. Your great points about his body, keeping up, all that is very important, and it's true. But the time is now. We're 33 games in here. They're sitting second in the wild card right now, the Edmonton Oilers, tied with the Calgary Flames at 36 points. The Blues are 33. The Predators are 30. Let's get going here. I can't even imagine the Stanley Cup playoffs without Connor McDavid. I do believe in my heart they're going to get in. Jason Demers will help them. So good on him. Good old veteran wearing 55. I love it. So Updogg, great job, buddy. Maxi Binger. It's not the same. I love being in the studio with you boys, but Updogg, what a milk carton, buddy. Best milk carton of the year.
Sorry, Bunting. I'm sure you'll just take that one in stride and come out next game and maybe rough up the linesman. If you really want to show your proof, though, you grab some linesmen and pump them.
You know what I would do? I would take. Well, first of all, I don't think I'm linesman. I probably got bitch slapped by a few linesmen. Who am I kidding? But whoever's linesman it was, the next game, I would rip a puck up the wall right about waist high at him. I just fired at him, hit him in the ribs, and be like, "You ever push me like that again? The next one's coming out your fucking teeth, bud." So
yeah, they're all just a little bit jealous that they don't have the stick. They're all just a little bit jealous that they got to wear the stripes. I just kind of slowly remind them, "Hey, bud, you wish you had this jersey on."
Yeah, I used to love telling them they didn't come to watch you. They didn't come here to watch you, buddy. Yeah. And then talking about lines, and when they wouldn't drop the puck, I'm like, drop the fucking puck here. Jesus Christ, let's go. What are we waiting for? Updogg, you the man, buddy. I miss you. Enjoy New York. Say happy birthday to your girlfriend, Maxi Binger. Thank you, boys. Great job today. That was Missin Curfew, Updogg.